I just realized that I can use this live button. I didn't know. I was recording it on my video and then posting it. Now this makes me really vulnerable. um, I said I would go deeper with my personal journey of self-hatred, and my self-hatred was coming from the fact that I hated being a woman, I hated being petite, and I hated being white because I felt that that was the weakest link in the chain. So I know I have no idea how long this is going to go for. Oh well. It's hard to be, it was hard for me to be a white woman. Now some of you might be a bit shocked by that, but for me, men held more power, or so I thought. And when you're petite and you don't have physical strength, then you're also down on the bottom of the list. And when you don't have any special talents that you think make you stand out, then you also feel like you become invisible in the world. But the Father came and spoke to me on all those issues. It's beautiful to be a woman because I learned that God is not a man. God is God. God is without gender. God is male and female. He said in the beginning, God created us in the image of himself, male and female. So my Christian religion, which had a very male dominating idea about God, is not exactly altogether telling the fullness of the story sometimes. In the beginning, the Spirit of God hovered over the waters, and in that image, it's a female bird hovering over. So Father and Holy Spirit took me on this massive journey of understanding more who God really is, that he's not about gender. And then God dismantled the idea that to be powerful meant you had to be strong. Now this idea comes from the history of the planet, where leaders or countries have become strong through aggression or domination, using brute force. While Father doesn't use brute force to take us to himself. He came as the lamb, stripped himself of his power, and gave up his life, which is the complete opposite to domination. So then that whole thing got blown up for me. And then understanding that I am talented, I do have gifts inside of me, I'm not invisible. I have the audience of one whose eye is on me constantly. I am the apple of God's eye. He carries me under his wings and on his back. He never leaves me, never forsakes me. Anything inside of me where I felt isolated or alone began to fade away as the God of the universe continually reminded me about how I was on his mind. This blows my mind. God the Father's eye is constantly upon us, never leaves us. How could I be invisible then? I'm not. I'm visible to the most powerful being on the planet. No, not on the planet, in the universe. No, not in the universe. Outside the universe, God cannot be contained. Even in the universe is inside God. That's actually the truth, because the light is constantly going forth. In the beginning, God spoke and said, "Let there be light." Well, that light is actually coming from him. Therefore, the universe is constantly coming from him. I'm sorry, I've digressed. But the point of all this is to say, God is able to come to every area of our self-hatred and blow it apart by his truth. Now, others of you will have different things that cause you to feel bad about yourself. I want to say that God has an answer for every single one of our mistruths that we believe. God is love, and that love comes and builds a sure foundation inside of us where any self-criticism will end up going if we will allow ourselves to go through the process with God, to be honest about what we really feel instead of pretending to be something that we're not, or hiding our own insecurities, or be just feeling the shame or the anger or the fear and not being authentic about it. To say to God directly, I feel like this, I hate this, or I don't like that, that gives God the opportunity to speak to you. Now, I'm sorry, I was looking into my own camera. I normally don't do that, but it's weird because I'm doing a live instead of a recording, so. But that's the word I wanted to share today, and I don't know whether I do these lives or whether I record them again. Let's see for the next time, but thank you, Soski, again for giving me the opportunity to take up this challenge. And I just pray for everybody right now who has any self-hatred, that you would have the courage to face it, and then you would hear the voice of Holy Spirit speaking directly into that place. I'd be interested to hear from some of you through Messenger if it's too personal, or through the comments below, if you have a testimony about how God dealt with you in your severe questions of self, or this introverted hatred, or anything else kind of in the same area. And I believe there's a freedom coming to my generation where we stop comparing ourselves and think that we should be someone other than we're not. Take care and talk to you soon.